just said no matter how much we talk,
the moderator. Sorry.
It won't make you no more writer. Like you just said, no matter how many times them niggas talked about the environment, it didn't make him right. It didn't make him right.
Hey,
you feel me? It didn't make him right.
Wade got up and said, your environment, he's talking about a serial killer.
The dude with the suit on in the back.
He said, if you're a serial killer, your environment makes you a serial killer.
The dude with the
This
suit.
is what he said. That don't even make sense, bro.
And then like I was telling them about Danny when he said him and his sister came from the same environment.
Lynch, L-Y-N-C-H.
Then like I was telling him about Danny, when Danny first got up and spoke, he said him and his sister, they was talking about the environment. But he said him and his sister came from the same environment, but she went to school and he ran with the environment. Therefore, he contradicted his own, what he was saying. Like you was just saying, you could talk all you want, but it can be wrong.
But whatever you say, you have to have support. You have to have some sources. You should learn that in English. You can't just make up
but the sources that they get, they're wrong on their story. He killed himself. Danny killed himself. He contradicted himself. Dude in the suit.
He didn't contradict himself. He just made an example. He gave you an example of an environment. 50% of it was good and 50% of it was bad. It's not our job to take in the bad. It's our job to listen to the point of environment. That's all I'm trying to say. What you got you come with a good point, but he talked about only environment.
But I'm listening.
He made a distinction of a bad way of the outcome environment, and he made a good way of the outcome and environment. Though
but
it's our job as moderators. Come on now, it's our job as moderators to listen to the argument and pick out the most relevant parts. And the parts that's not relevant, we need to discard that. The parts that are relevant to their argument, we need to find validity in that or tear down what he's saying. So right now we got a debate about who brought the most points. And to be honest with you, it seems like them brothers only brought on the comms strictly genetic.
Can I have
no nurture.
Can I have a decision?
So even if we just go off open arguments, closed arguments, even with that, it's still they argued third.
There go Jose right there.
Oh, we need Jose.
Yeah, one more. We need one more. Hey, Arius, come here. Arius.
Okay, she need a decision in 1 minute, y'all. What we gonna do?
We got one more dude.
He's still at that 5-4.
What's up, man? Hey, Arius.
Huh? See, all I'm moderating is not here, man.
Come here. Arius.
Okay, he not on our. Okay, he wasn't.
Arius.
Right, so right there.
Yeah, they're gonna sit up front. So you can sit the same way you were straight there.
So we there.
5-5.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay, come on.
I constantly have in my notes, man. No details.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we was pretty much set on how they came with a strong closing, but all the material beforehand wasn't.
Who's gonna speak last?
Was very weak.
You said if you watch the video, you say you were here letting them nurture, and that's not. I got the shit recorded, I just let them hear it. Dude with the ponytail and the older dude,
That's Gary.
No, not just
He only had one thing though.
Gary spoke twice.
Yeah.
He spoke twice. And in both times he spoke nurture. He spoke teaching choices. He spoke choice both times. Just like Norris, both times.
Go ahead, you want to sit down with you?
You not gonna sit down?
Yeah, sit down. Yes.
Need another chair? No, your chair's fine.
I'm gonna put some money out right now to make men out. I'm willing to pull out this video.
So who's speaker for the moderator? And who's gonna get the final?
That's either him or King.
Don't say that until you finish speaking.
Okay, King. What's your name right here? Okay, Side King can say the because they speak real well.
Okay, so one person.
I don't even know what we're gonna say.
I know what we're gonna say.
Just speak your points. Just go over the points of the whole.
That's freaking bold.
That is freaking bold. So basically now we're just standing up and we're just going over our points, right, Miss Turner? Miss Odom? Okay.
I don't think that.
We're going over our points now, and then at the end, we're going to have one person conclusion, and then after the conclusion, that's when we let them know. So they don't know until the end.
I'll do the conclusion. So I'm just gonna ask you brothers to come up with your valid points amongst
Actually,
us.
your moderators
Take a
would
tally.
have liked to have.
Well, we're all going to speak.
They would have liked to have more time because their discussions were, you know, well,
So we
truthful.
need to get.
They have very strong opinions about what they heard and what they saw last week. But, of course, the time is now to get a result to this. We have to come to some kind of conclusion today. So what you'll do, you'll hear from each one of them. Each one of them will share strengths and weaknesses that they heard in both arguments. The last speaker, which will be either Cy or King, will be King, will give you the decision that came about from a collaborative effort of everyone you see. Okay? So the decision is final. There will be no further debating on the decision. So whatever they have come up with as the decision will stand. But before they do that, I'd just like to say all of you did a fantastic job. You did a wonderful job. And you know, I can't wait to share with you the video. Because you're all one thing. I have been bragging across campus about what a great job you did and how quickly you pulled this together. So, hats off to all of you. And we'll begin with the moderator. Whenever you're ready, begin.
The pros came out, feel me, had a good opening argument, but y'all body and stuff and conclusion actually match up, even though the cons came out with a opening argument was alright, but then they body and their conclusion was all matching up. So feel me, I had voted for the cons.
Your ass.
I'll go next. My name is William Newman. I'm in Mr. Johnson's class, English 28. The con side, the strengths were...
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
My name is William Newman. And the strengths on the con side was your closing statement. And I like the argument that Jabari made and the argument that Naso made. That like caught my attention. Your weakness was you focused on genetics and athletics too much for me. I felt that you didn't have supporting arguments for nurturing in your opening statement. For the pro side, your strength was your opening statement and your closing statement, and I liked your supporting arguments. For your weakness, only had one. It was Danny made a contradiction as far as with nature, and this inside his household, with his sister and himself. One went to college, and he chose to pursue a job. But other than that, that was my opinion. I felt that the pro side, on their opening statement, they had a lot of stuff to say. And the ending was okay, but the middle of it, we needed more information. And with the con side,
It wasn't as good as their music.
he ended it, he took it to the end, and he made a lot of sense.
No, My name is Cy, English 21, Miss Odom. The pros had a great introduction, like the gentleman just said there. But the body, as we taught in English, when you have a good main idea, but your body, your support, your facts. Danny, the contradiction part, and then dude in the suit about the serial killer, he went way off topic. The cons, they opening it wasn't as solid as you guys, but they support, you know, what they talked about, the choices, the nurture when they got off genetics, you know, because you can't just say because like Michael Jordan sounded like somebody, you know, went back on that side and argued. So it's not about genetics, it's about nurture. But you know, I ain't gonna tell y'all who won right now.
My name is Aaron Hall, English 28, Mr. Johnson. I feel like the pros had a really good opening statement, and the cons of the statement was really weak. And in the middle, I kind of felt like the pros, like they were talking about environment, but they didn't really make any sense. They were just talking. And the cons middle, they kept talking about genetics, and that was kind of a lost cause. And the cons had a really good closing argument with a lot of good facts, and the pros had a pretty good closing argument too.
David Johnson with Mr. Johnson, English 28. I think that the cons, the closing was very, very strong with Gary, but they only spoke about genetics. They didn't really elaborate on the nurturing. And I think the cons was very strong with Carlos. And I'm sorry?
Pros.
I mean, the pros, I'm sorry. And everything Gary spoke about, he had, whatever he spoke about, he had, like what you just said, he had the body and he had support to close it. I mean, he supported everything he spoke about. And I felt that Danny in Mr. Johnson class, English 21, he concluded it with basically what Gary said. So, but I think both of them was very good and interesting. That's it.
My name is Aries Jose, Professor Odom, class English 21. Basically, I felt that the pros had a better side. They were more consistent. You know, they were more assertive on their proof, their evidence, their details and stuff. Gary, sir, he had an amazing closing statement, but I don't think you could win the war by just winning the battle. These guys were more consistent and they went through. That's what's up. I'm for the pros.
Terrence Johnson didn't go.
Yes, has everyone spoke?
No. We just got him.
My name is Terrence Johnson, Mr. Johnson, English 28 class. The pros, the beginning statement with Carlos was excellent. I feel it was pretty good and everything. And also with the beginning statement with the cons with Wimbush was also good. But when his beginning statement was good, but the body, everybody was kind of off topic with what he started off with. But it also was over here with Carlos. So I feel at the beginning everybody was all everywhere. Nobody wasn't really on the same topic as the beginning statement and everything. But at the end, he came, the dude right here came with an excellent, what's his name? Gary came with an excellent ending topic, you feel me? And I felt that was pretty good. And also the guy on the pros team was pretty good too. He came back and just pretty much brought y'all back on top, what y'all was talking about. You feel me? Y'all was off topic. Y'all was off topic and everything like that. And he just made more sense when he had ended it off. So that's how I feel.
How you not know your classmate's name?
So before you get the final statement from the moderators, are there any questions that you have for your moderators? Sure. Direct your questions to them. Sure, whatever you want.
My question is, I heard a lot of the moderators say that on the con side, we kind of stay focused more, but we constantly talked about genetics. Well, that was our whole argument. If we would have said anything other than about the genetics, we would kind of been going against ourselves. We were supposed to go against the genetics, or am I wrong?
No, you was right. Some people just didn't like your argument